then the world looks up and you remove these artificial barriers, and the world discovers, hey, there is in fact a Nelson Mandela, coming out of this community. And I believe we are impoverishing ourselves when we do what we do to women. We are actually made for this interdependence, that each brings peculiar gifts and attributes. When we were dealing with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, somebody studied the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and found out something very interesting. They said, when the men came to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, almost invariably, they told a story about themselves. Equally, when women came, almost all of them told a story about someone else.
About others?
Yes. That we are really impoverishing ourselves. That there are gifts that will develop as they mesh into other gifts.
We men find ourselves very interesting. I'd like to now open it up to some questions from the audience. The lights are such that it's hard for us to see, but raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. We have a couple of mics right here. If you just hand it to somebody with their hands up, that would be great.
My name is Song. Hello. Hi. Yes. Hi. My name is Songju Kim.
No.
There's another mic coming toward you, I think.
My name is Songju Kim from Asia, Korea, where very much,
speak up a little bit?
Yeah, very much women are discriminated because Confucius tradition. I mean, Korea and Japan used to be the worst case. I just like to touch up a few just a simple question or just suggestion or comments. Sandberg, Sir Sandberg, I appreciate what you said. I wonder whether women's leadership always should be based on ambition. We don't have to imitate men. I think it should be more based on vision. We want to inherit better future for our younger generation. Therefore, our vision should be succeed to serve. That's my motto. I just want to touch up because it's knowledge-based economy. You've got to take on leadership anyway, but not the same ambition like a man drive. That's what, look at what happened, all this investment banking destroy the whole world. And just to touch up on Michelle Bachelet, I look at the UN. This is such an important entity. I mean, Ban Ki-moon is a good friend of mine. Just such a sad to see such an important cause work like a Copenhagen Treaty failed because Security Council did not say yes. Why is that? Because we are going to now, again, the destroyed environment of our future generations. So my wondering is how you can take on women's initiative, creating on the Facebook or Twitter, whatever, 10 million, 20 million women can talk about this issue. If the UN cannot pass on this environment issue or global warming issue by this obstacle of a Security Council, we have to condemn them. So how can you empower with this using IT?
We're short on time, so
yeah, just one last comment.
Stop there and
can I just last comment to Thailand? Can I? Just
we want to give several people a chance to ask questions.
Can I? Could you? I'm a little bit ambitious here, can I? Just one.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. This is Thailand. And I know 1/4 of the men traveling to Thailand, sexual trafficking. While you are the Prime Minister, could you stop women, especially from infant to age, whatever group, serving men for sexual slavery? Thank you.
I'll be fast. So I think your question on ambition to lead and ambition based on vision, they're not mutually exclusive at all. In fact, a lot of people, men and women who have a really big ambition to change the world, understand they need a leadership role to get there. But we really do, in order for women who have vision to be able to have impact, it has to be okay for them to have the ambition to lead as well. Because without it, I promise we will stay in a world that's completely run by men.
I just, I want to add one little thing to that question. I think that it's important to have the ambition. It's important the education, as you said, from the home, but it's important also in the society to have big models. And I want to just very more the anecdote of President Tarja Halonen. She was 9 years president in Finland. She went to a kindergarten. She asked the kids what they want to be when they were older, and the typical answers, you know, firefighter, doctors, economists, lawyers, and so on. And then she asked a little boy, 6 years old, I said, don't you want to be president of Finland? And he answered very seriously, no, in this country, man cannot be president of the republic, because all his life he has seen a woman in the presidency. So we need, in terms of creating this hunger, not for, I mean, in my culture, ambitious sounds bad
right.
for women, because we were taught that way. But ambitious can be also a positive force, depends how you use it for. And in terms, very quickly, because I took my time, on Rio Plus 20 and climate change, we have an opportunity now. In June, we have the high-level summit on not only climate change, sustainable development on the 3 pillars, social, economic, and environmental. And we're working very strong so to make a reality all these politically correct statements that women are in the central of the solution of environmental and social and development issues. So we are working very strong. We're going to have a very high-level panel with head of states, head of government, female head of state, head of government, but also we want men by us, because as Archbishop Tutu said, we need men and women working for women's rights and women's empowerment.
Okay. Madam Prime Minister.
Yes, to answer you about the problem of women in Thailand. So I think on the positive point, that I think the first thing that we have to back to the root cause of the problem, that the education must be in place in terms of give them the chance of study and equalize of the between male and female. So we have to bridge this gap. So that's why, like the policy in Thailand, we set up the foundation of female. The first of the objective of the foundation is the first thing that help female to access on the financial, because they need the basic of financial to survive themselves. I don't think that lady will do something that bad for ourselves if they don't have, if they have enough money. So this is the first thing that's why our foundation is start for help women to access all the financial. And second, that give them the opportunities to get the knowledge and help them in terms of the legal, because sometimes without the education, so they don't understand how to survive, understand how to protect themselves, especially the youth, the female youth. So I think this is more important. So that's why we said that education will come, go along with female. And last thing, that we need to give the world or everyone to understand the environment or understand the underneath of the female. In fact, that female, as myself, that I can say that as long as we give the opportunities to them, and of course that male and female on the balance of the male and female must be complement together, and ambitious is is important, but the qualification and the capable for this job is even more important. That will be not that we cannot be separate between male and female. So it will be equalized. So we have to give the chance for both male and female in politics, especially in Thailand. For female will be the symbolic of non-violence. So I saw that if we have the proportion of male and female mixed together, first on the personality, so we can fulfill on the thing that the man did cover. But of course, the male cannot do better than female cannot do better than male in some area. So that's mean a compliment. And non-violent will help, especially in Thailand. Mr. Tutu will say that in the reconciliation. So I use as the feminine to come up with other people and move Thailand forward for reconciliation and a peaceful for my country. Thank you.
Thank you. And Madam Prime Minister, I have to also say that you speak better English than I do.
Oh, thank you.
We'll take maybe a couple more questions and then try to answer them collectively because we're running a little low on time.
Thank you very much. I am Margaret Kamar from Kenya, Minister for Higher Education. I want to agree with Sandberg that early socialization of our children shape them differently, and whatever difference is created at the home front gets carried over for a very long time. We only passed our constitution the other day, and in our new constitution in Kenya, we said 1/3 political positions and all positions should go to women. But thank God for you and women, we are still searching for those women to come forward, in spite of the fact that education has given us quite a number of women. I wanted to ask, out of that, the Thailand experience, how did you deal with the socialization, cultural socialization early in the years? How is it that you are okay? You say that you have gender equality at this level. Did you have that issue, and how did you deal with it?
Okay, and we'll go ahead and take, I must say there's no ambition gap here in this audience. I'd like to encourage other questions, and we'll just take a few questions and then address them together.
Gary Haugen with IJM. Nick, you and Cheryl brought out in Half the Sky the subtext of violent abuse and oppression that exists, really permeates the life of the poorest women and girls in the world, and just interested in signs of hope or interventions that work in that area.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lauren Gunderson. I'm a playwright and a screenwriter, and I'm very interested in sex selection and how the very fundamental unchoosing of girls before they can even prove themselves and provide models for other women in the world, how that affects you, and what thoughts you have on that.
Sex selection, yeah. Let's take those questions, and also let me, just to mix it up a little bit, throw in one more, and then each, and the question I'd like to throw out is whether a world in which there is greater gender parity would look particularly different. And in particular, I mean, it always strikes me that that the strongest, the best advocates I know of for greater equality are not bleeding heart columnists, not any of us here. It's these hard-bitten American generals in Afghanistan, because one of the things they've learned is that if more girls are going to school in a particular district in Afghanistan, there'll be fewer attacks on soldiers there. And so you get these generals sitting around a conference table, and one moment they're talking about airstrikes on the Taliban, and the next moment they're trying to figure out how to get more girls in school, because they know the difference that will make in security in Afghanistan. And so why don't we go with you, Cheryl, and work our way back. Would this kind of a world look different? Would it be different?
I started my career working at the World Bank, and I worked on leprosy in India. And the saying at the World Bank at the time, this is the early 90s, was you have to give money, make sure the money goes to the women, because the women will spend it on their children and the men will spend it on whiskey and other women. Not that anyone here would do that. But the data is pretty clear that women spend 90% of their income on their children, and men, I think it's more like 30 to 40%. Yeah, I was going to say 40, so I'm glad you corrected me, 30 to 40%. So I think it will make a difference. I think it would be a more peaceful world. If you talk to Lema Bowie, who just won the Nobel Peace Prize along with 2 other women this year, and you ask her what needs to change, she's very clear, and she says women in power, because women in power don't have guns and don't rape people. And so I also would say we might as well try it. Can't get worse. But I really think that a world where we're using the population, the gifts of all of our population. Warren Buffett has famously and generously said one of the reasons he has succeeded so much in life is because he only had to compete with half the population. Why not use the talents of the entire population to address the very considerable needs this world has?
Thank you, Talal.
For me, I mean, I go back to my original point that, if I look at it from an economic point of view, I mean, the World Bank, they came up with a study that showed that there is a direct correlation between growth in GDP